How you guys all doing tonight? You're done here, and today is 8/3/2018. We're going to go over the luxury and golden merchants real quick here on the channel. So tonight, for the luxury to start with, we have a bunch of dark elf stuff here. So dark elf garden here, familiar. So a little bit, looks a little bit like a sand garden, a zen garden here with a bit of macabre decor to it. Altar, sacrificial, which I guess you need for all your dark elf stuff. Little prayer thing here, only 3,000. A podium with a book on it. I wouldn't say it's too bad. It's 35k for this, so you can actually use this to like do a type of library or something like that. It's one of the cheaper items I've seen around. And then an urn, a barely urn, for about 10k, not bad. Familiar garden, kind of macabre. Sacrificial altar for about 10k, might be a little bit expensive. But looking over some of the other items here, there is a lot of stuff right now in Cyrodiil right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and go through a few of these here. Afflicted. Basically weapon damage, stamina, magicka. We deal damage, 50% chance have to deal an additional 3,150 disease damage, can occur every 4 seconds. That's because you want to get some extra damage in there that's basically lowering their health regeneration. Elysian, stamina recovery, health taken, maximum health, immunity disabling effects, and break free for after using it, break free for 3 seconds, so extra break free on top of that. Curse eating ring, health, magical recovery, reduce the duration of all negative effects you supply to you by 20%. Deadly ring, which is an interesting, it's one of the three item sets here you can use. Oh, apologize, we had something queued up there in the background. So you get maximum health and weapon critical out of this. It's not necessarily bad. It used to be bad because it had healthy, but now you actually, since you can change over rings and what they use, you can actually get a different thing on top of this. So you can go with stamina, magicka, you know, whatever you want. So it's a little bit better off than what it was. Eagle Eye ring. So you have health critical and increase the range of your bow abilities by 3 meters. It's not too bad. Ebon ring, health, healing taking, increase your health and of you and your group mates. This is actually the one that you get out of I want to say Crypto Hearts, and this is actually kind of useful for both PvP and PvE. A little bit more for PvE. This is a meta set for tanks right here. Lucky's ring, weapon damage, stamina, stamina recovery, and when you take damage from area effects, you reduce your area. Sorry, reduces the damage you take from area effect abilities, but also reduces your healing of area effect abilities by 25%. So it's a give and a take with that. But I know a lot of people seem to like to use this, at least for like the first 3 bonuses here. A marksman. Stamina recovery, weapon damage, reduces cost to your stamina abilities by 5% and increases the damage to your bow abilities against players by 8%. So a lot of bow people inside PvP like to use this, but remember, this is bow abilities against players, not monsters. Ravaging ring, weapon critical, weapon maximum health, weapon damage, and when you deal melee damage, you have an 8% chance to increase your weapon damage by 645 for 10 seconds, and it can occur every 10 seconds. And this is actually kind of a meta for DPS builds as well. I know a lot of people will be using this as it is, so you may want to get this. This is about this is probably about the most meta for a PvP drop you can have for a PvE DPS build, and a lot of PvPers use this as well. Ring of Alexia, health, spell resistance, and when you take damage, you have 20% chance to heal you and your allies within 7 meters for 2,429 damage. Not the greatest, unfortunately. It's every 3 seconds, but still not that great. There's other rings or other sets that do more healing and more shielding too. Alteration mastery, magic recovery, spell critical, reduce the cost of all your abilities by 6%. So it's basically like Seducer, but more magic recovery based. But oh, I should also mention this is all abilities. Seducer only affects magic abilities, if I remember correctly. This can actually affect your ultimate abilities and your stamina abilities as well. Ancient Grace, another 3-piece set. So this one here is Match Magicka. Increase your Match Magicka by 4%, and it's a 3-piece set. Ring of Beckoning. Spell resistance, maximum health, spell resistance, and you have 40% chance to intercept projectiles cast on your allies within 5 meters of you. So interesting set. I'm not sure if anyone ever really uses it, but if you're trying to do a reflection build, might be interesting to see. Ring of Cyrodiil's Crest. So weapon damage, maximum health, 4% healing taking. When you deal melee damage, you apply Major Defile to enemies within 5 seconds. Applying healing, reducing their healing received by 30%. This can occur once every 5 seconds. This is actually one of the sets that's changing next patch. So it's going to be now stamina recovery, 2 max health, and after successfully blocking, heal for 8,000 health. Concur every 5 seconds. So more healing, no defile on this one. It's going to be more of a tanky set than anything else with this one, but still an interesting set if you want to pick it up now in the gold jewelry. All right, let's see, where was I? Cyrodiil's Crest. Cyrodiil's Light, another one's just changing here, but currently it's spell damage, max magicka. When you cast or channel an ability, your damage taken is reduced by 15%. So interesting set to try blocking yourself. But now the new 5-piece on this, so it's not changing the other 4-piece. 5-piece is now, while you're casting your channel ability, damage taken is reduced by 50%, same as always. But when you're interrupted, your next magic ability costs no magicka, so now it's even better than it is now. So a few magicka casters might actually want to get this, especially if you're maybe a Templar using a Rain Destruction build or something else like that. Ring of Cyrodiil's Light, Crest, Ward. Okay, here's another one that's changing as well. Currently, it's stamina recovery, increased mounted speed by 15%, max health, and when you increase the amount of damage you block by 8%. This is a weird one because this is a medium armor set, right? So a lot of people didn't really use it all that much. This is changing over into weapon damage, stamina recovery. When you and your melee damage, pardon me while I mute that. When you receive melee damage, you apply Major Defile to enemies in 4 seconds, reducing the healing and health recovery by 30%. This is going to occur every 5 seconds. So basically, they're taking what used to be in the old heavy armor side and put it onto a medium armor melee side. So this actually might be a really good one to use, especially since they're nerfing the stuff that's giving Major Defile out. Sets is probably going to be the most reliable way to put Major Defile on in the future, so you definitely want to pick this up if you have any issues killing some healers or something like that. Right, that's Cyrodiil's Ward. Ring of Elfbane, max magicka, spell damage, and increase your duration of flame damage abilities by for 2 seconds. Nothing too new with that. I won't say it's going to be great or bad to use. Oh, there is one issue they're fixing in this. So fixing an issue where this item set would not increase the duration of damage over time for Grothar's item sets. So if you're fire damage, you may want to use this, but honestly, most people go with Silks of the Sun anyways. Fasal's Guile, health, healing taken, and you play Minor Defile to any enemy within 5 meters for 2 seconds, reducing your healing received by 15%. So this one's another good set to use. I do not believe this is going to change next patch, so this is another good one to grab if you're really looking to give a heal debuff set of some kind, because this basically makes it so that anyone who's around you gets that healing debuff for free. You don't have to do anything. Ring of Fury, health, stamina, weapon damage. When you take critical damage, your weapon damage is increased by 30 for 6 seconds and stacks up 25 times. Now, to get the full benefit out of this, you have to be critical 25 times. Not a good perspective, really, when you take a look at some of the major hits people take, but it will work also with any type of dot critical that gets hit with you. That's where most people use the set with. So they'll sit back, they'll get hit with dots. A lot of them stack up. They keep on stacking and proccing Fury to give you a lot of damage in the back end. It's up to you if you actually want to use it, but this can give you a good burst of damage here. Another perspective that I would recommend, though, is probably 7th Legion, which gives you a more immediate burst rather than that build-up into the critical. And a little bit of healing as well. Imperium's Wrath. So this one here is spell damage and spell critical with Arcane, another 3-piece set. Kain's Kiss, stamina recovery, weapon critical, and when you deal direct damage with bow abilities, you have 10% chance to heal for 12k and restore your health for another 12k. Not bad, I'd say, but not terrific. I mean, they could give us a bit more on top of this here, but I think the big thing with this is a 10% chance with no cooldown. So direct damage with bow abilities, I don't believe that it will affect. I don't think that affects for like light and heavy attacks, but it still means that like any of the other abilities, you can possibly get a reduction. I'd probably recommend, however, if you're really looking for that reduction, that stamina feedback, you could probably go with Marksman or Marksman and Hawkeye for reduction, which we already saw. Would be flat, no questions about it, reduction. Archmage, magic recovery, spell damage, max magicka. When you deal damage to a fully charged heavy attack, you restore 8,000 800, not 8,000, 834 magicka. So it's basically boosting up your magicka recovery for heavy attacks. It's all right, I guess, but I don't think it's anyone's really going home and saying, "Oh my god, it's so great." You can probably get better, maybe even with like some of the other sets out there, and also raise up your damage a bit more. Lich set, Warlock set probably give you more magical recovery on top of that too. Ring of the Desert Rose, spell resistance, max magicka, max health. When you take damage, you have 15% chance to restore 2,400 magicka. That's going to occur every 4 seconds. This is one of the sets I'm actually surprised I did not see any changes with in the patch notes, which they're coming up with a few new ones here, but this one I'm surprised people wouldn't come back and change. The magic recovery is okay, but if you combine this maybe with the Asylum sword and board set, where if you get hit by the magic with a magicka ability, and you absorb it, you can get magicka back on top of it, or was it? Either you recover magicka if you get hit, or if you recover magicka if no one hits you in that time frame, which is a kind of weird prospect, but you can combine it with this if you're just trying to look for more magicka. Again, there's other areas that give you more magicka, so I'm not sure why you'd really go with this one in particular. Hawkeye, another one I was talking about before, but stamina, weapon damage, reduce the cost and increase the damage of your bow abilities by 5%. So if you're a bow build, like you're all bow all the time, Hawkeye's is probably one of the sets you want to get, because again, reducing it and increasing your damage, both very good abilities on top of this, and it works in PvE as well as PvP. So Hawkeyes versus Marksman. Remember, Hawkeyes, Marksman give us much more reduction, however, only worked against players. Ring of the Heartland. Max health, 4% healing taking, reduces damage you take from players by 5%, reduce the damage you take from siege and player effect abilities by 20%. So this one's kind of like a pure PvP set. It's not going to get any updates next patch. I don't know if you want to use it or not, but that's what it is. Kind of interesting. I don't think many people use it though. There's other ones that probably give better reductions in other ways. Juggernaut. Health, spell resistance, max health, and when you take damage, you're under 30% heal, under 30% health, heal for 18k health. Concur once every 1 minute. I think a lot of people probably use this or White Streaks to give themselves a heal. Not a bad set in general to give them the extra health boost, but the 1 minute timer is kind of a downer. You have to wait a long time for it to come back. Ring of Morag Tong. Weapon damage, stamina, weapon damage, and direct damage causes your abilities to take 10% more damage to poison abilities for 5 seconds. So PvE, I think this is a little bit more interesting to use because you can actually go into trial raids with this and get more more poison damage if you have a group full of DKs or just people using a lot of bows. Basically it's giving everyone 10% more damage, so that's kind of interesting as well, but you have to be really stamina heavy to make this work. I think PvPers do use this as well, but not as prominently, usually in Zergs or something like that. Ring of the Proletariats, stamina recovery, and reduce the cost of your ultimates by 10%. Addition to that, this is healthy on top of this here, so this will have heavy say here, so you can try to combine this maybe with what's the set there, sorry, drawing a blank, the dragon set there, I'm trying to remember, it's in the number set there, sorry, but there's other sets out there that will actually reduce the cost of ultimates, and this will stack with it as well. So if you want to cast some really high casting ultimates, that's going to give you a bit of reduction. But remember, if you're looking at maybe a 200 ultimate ability, you're looking at a 10% reduction, so it's going to reduce it by 20 ultimate. You can probably get that same amount of ultimate, making sure that you have something like a werewolf, blood spawn, or other 2-set items here, instead of just putting on this 10% item here. Sorry, let me there we go. Oh, okay, Sentry. Stamina, weapon damage, weapon critical, and increase the radius you can detect sneaking enemies by 50%. Increasing the damage done to sneaking enemies by 20%. Now, this is kind of a false... it looks like it's a hard counter to stealthers, but honestly, no, it's not. Remember, it's detecting sneaking enemies by 50%. Sneaking, not invisible. That means Nightblades are going into cloak, aren't going to be having, you're not going to have an easier time detecting them unless they stop using cloak and they're just sitting there stealth in an area they think they should be safe in. In addition to that, the damage done to sneaking enemies by 20% kind of negated, because as soon as you get one hit off on them, they come out of cloak, so you're not doing damage to them that much more. It really needs to have some tweaking. It used to be a lot better when you can stack it with other abilities like Mage's Light, when it gives you more detection radius, and also using detect pots used to be a lot better, but right now it's kind of a defunct set. Still like the set way back when, but just not good anymore. Shadow Walker, weapon damage, stamina recovery. While sneaking invisible and not moving, you heal for 2,000 and you restore 2,000 stamina every 1 second. This is a really good ability, or sorry, really good set for Nightblades using cloak. A lot of them actually use this just to get themselves a good recovery in general. A lot of Stam Blades, at least. This actually comes in an overworld section, but now you can get a gold jewelry for it inside of PvP. For AP. Ring of the Swift, health, healing taken, reduces damage taken by players by 5%, another one of these sets. And when you take damage from spells, you have a 10% chance to gain damage shield for 2,000 for 6 seconds, can occur every 4 seconds. Not a really great 5-piece set. Their damage reduced to players is probably okay as well, but you can see here, it's more of a Magicka set here in PvP. Ring of the Valiant, more of the heavy set. No, it's more... That's not the heavy, this is the medium set here because it's the stamina. But health, healing taken, reduce damage for players by 5%, and reduce the cost to break free by 40% here. So if you want to get out, you want to break free really quick, you can use this set. But remember, you also have the crafted set. I think it's the Way of the Arena that you can get in Kraglorn that you can craft to do the same effect. And you can choose what set you want to go with it too. So that's Valiant. Transmutation, magic recovery, spell critical. When you heal a target with healing over time abilities, grant them a grant them 1,300 critical resistance for 20 seconds. Not a bad ability as for PvP healing. A lot of folks, I think, Yeah, so most of the healing you do is over time. I'm trying to think of one ability that isn't, to be honest. Even if you're using Vigor, that's like heal over time. So you're giving a critical resistance every time you do it. So healers that are in a warband probably want to be running this in general. Vengeance Leech. Max health. Oh yeah, this is also a robust set. But this is a 3-piece set. It's max health. When you kill an enemy, you heal for 1500, and you recover 1500 magicka and stamina. So it's kind of a good recovery if you kill people, but not the greatest, I'd say, because how many times do you kill somebody inside PvP? Like, it's not as common, I think, as this might make it seem to be. Like, you're not killing people left to right to get it. And finally, last set is Vicious Death. Really needed for anyone that's going to be doing a bomb build. Spell damage, magicka, spell critical. When you kill a player, they violently explode for 16k flame damage to all other enemies in a 4-meter radius. So there's quite a bit of damage here, and for just killing something, and it chain reacts. So if you kill one person and this Vicious Death kills another person, that kills another person, that kills, etc, etc. It just keeps on blowing out. It is a small radius, but still it can do a lot of damage to ball groups and other people that are just not paying attention to what they're doing at the time. So that's all the golden merchant stuff right now inside of PvP. You can get that for 500 AP, or it's not 500 AP, 500,000 AP inside PvP right now, by going to the Golden Merchant if you can get into Cyrodiil. Really recommend you folks take a look at the low population Cyrodiils, the 7-day campaigns they opened up. Guest on them, you can go in real quick and get them if you get out. Luxury Merchant is, of course, in Cold Harbor. Go ahead and get all that stuff anytime that you want, and that is Hero of None with our August 3rd, 2018 luxury and gold merchants. Also, noting on the Crown store here as well, you still have the Mid-Here Mayhem. The Great Dane is here. You have 10 days to get the Pinnacle Pariah, which just came out again. You have a reduction to the Orsinium and to the Orsinium bundle pack if you guys are a la carte, or if you want to get some of the pets here. Good time to do it. And you have some of the cheerful holiday dies going with the Meteor Mayhem. Apologize I did not get my video out last week because of other complications and stuff happens, but hey, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you all later. Catch me a little bit, or catch me on YouTube and Twitch, Hero of None, and of course visit heroofnone.com for more information. Have a good night, guys. Meow, meow.